In this morning's Eye on Money, what you need to know before filing your taxes. In just the first week of this tax season, the IRS says it processed nearly 13 million returns. Mine was not one of them. And issued almost 4.3 million refunds. I won't be getting one of those. The filing deadline is April 15th. Of course, CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger is here with some important reminders for this tax season. My favorite time of the year. Jill, good morning.
Not my favorite time of the year. Just want to break even. Yeah.
Right.
So I know you were kidding.
What's changed for this year to start?
Not a lot has changed. Every year, the IRS makes some inflation adjustments, so the brackets aren't exactly the same, and the deduction amounts aren't exactly the same. But there are three major issues that are different this year than last year, right after the tax law change. Number one is that you no longer have to pay a penalty if you did not have health insurance. That individual mandate, it went to zero, so it's gone. No tax forms you have to file. If you got divorced last year and there is some alimony payment, alimony is basically now tax neutral, meaning if you pay alimony, you don't get to deduct it, but if you receive alimony, you don't have to claim it. If you were divorced prior to 2019, the old rules apply. And finally, if you are going to be able to deduct medical expenses, you have to be an itemizer, and it has to be more than 7.5% of your adjusted gross income. So those are the big changes for this year.
So what documents exactly do you need to file, and what's the easiest way to file?
Well, the documents should have already come in, the W-2s, the 1099s. You might have gotten a statement maybe from your mortgage company, your bank accounts. You'll gather up all these documents. But again, most of this stuff should be in. Grab your old tax return, let that be a guide, and then just know this. The majority of people who are filing taxes can qualify for something called free file. This is an IRS program with software companies. So you get the software and the filing is for free if you make less than $69,000. The IRS says that's about 100 million taxpayers.
Wow.
So if you make less than $69,000, you probably don't need to pay for any tax services. That's
So you're
really
saying online
important.
is the easiest way to file?
Absolutely. Should be electronic, fewer errors that way.
You people obviously waiting for refunds. How long do they typically have to wait?
Usually about 3 weeks, and if it's longer than that, then of course you should go out and try to contact the IRS. Just two other things that I should mention. There is a volunteer service called VITA, the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program, and the Tax Counseling for the Elderly Program. If you go to irs.gov, these are two fantastic resources for people who may not have English as a first language or older people. So there are resources there, irs.gov. I promise we'll do tax scams in another segment.
All right.
Jill, thank you.
Always good to have you here.
And if you're wondering what your tax bracket is for the 2019 tax year, go to cbsthismorning.com to find out where you land.